welcome back to my channel. If this is your first time here, hello, my name is Mika. Thank you so much for stopping in. So today I just wanted to do kind of a piggyback off of my video from Tuesday when I talked about where I've been. And I have happier news for you. I know that this may seem a little crazy, a little, like a fairy tale or made up story, but after I made that video and I posted it, I just had an urge, it's like God was just like, check your emails. And at first I was like, well, I didn't understand why I needed to check my emails, because it was just a bunch of jobs, a lot of places asking me to apply for their job and coupons and things like that. So, and I know because my emails come straight to my phone like a text message, so it pops up. So every time that I get an email alert, I always look at it, and I didn't see anything that stood out that I was like, okay, maybe I need to apply for this, or I need this coupon, or nothing like that. So I really wasn't sure why I was being led to check my email that night, but I did. I checked my email, and I just went through cleaning it up, and just, it was a bunch of junk mail, like I said, and there was some jobs I was like, yeah, that sounds kind of interesting. I may apply for this. And then, probably 10 emails down, I seen job offer. No, I apologize. It said offer letter. And I was like, dang, okay, offer letter. I was already discouraged before from, I would see stuff like job offer, which is what I just said that was the wrong thing to say. But I was seeing things like that before, and it was just basically like jobs choosing me to apply for their job. So I opened up this offer letter, and it was the job that I wanted. I applied for neuroscience as a medical assistant, because right now finding a social work job is not the easiest, but it's coming. I'm gonna claim it. It's coming. It's just not my time yet. But it was for neurosciences, and the reason I wanted this position is because they do research, and it's not a job where I'll be in one office all the time. So I'll be a float medical assistant. So, throughout the week, I'll work at 3 different hospitals. And I felt like, that was, to me, that's what I needed, because I'm new to Houston. I do have friends and family here, but, I don't have my own personal, new friends, people, just new people, surrounding myself with new people. I don't have that yet. And, you be able to branch out, because my friends, they're married, and my cousins, they're married, and my aunt and uncle are married. So I'm the only single butterfly out here. And so that's why I'm saying, it's important for me to kind of connect with other people who are more like me. I mean, I enjoy the married part because I too will be a wife eventually. It's just not my time right now. We're claiming it though, but I will be. So right now, it's just not my time. And so I want to be able to connect myself with people who are like-minded and who can actually help me to be seen, because I'm kind of like a homebody. If I don't really have anything to do, I don't venture out on my own. If I have friends that's like, oh girl, let's go to a movie, let's go get our nails done or something like that, then yeah, I'll get out the house, or if I have somebody to do it with. But other than that, I'm more of I'm gonna go to work and come home, and I'm not leaving the house again. So, I want to get out of that, because obviously my spouse can't find me just hiding behind closed doors. And I've tried dating apps before, but they're pretty weird, and I'm more old school, so I prefer to meet people in person. Just so they'll see how I look too, because I look different than I look on camera. And people look different than they look on camera. So, and in your personality, you get that vibe. It's just different than, looking at people through a computer screen or a phone screen and trying to figure out what kind of person they are. You don't really pick up on their vibes. So, I'm just ready to venture out and just have fun and enjoy my new city, and really get to experience Houston in a positive way. I know there's a lot of bad things that could be experienced here, so we're just gonna look for the positive things to experience. But yeah, I just, besides dating and doing all that other stuff, that's not really a priority to me, but I just want that option to be there. You can't have it if you're just sitting in your house. But yeah, just surrounding myself with like-minded people. It's still nice to have women who respect themselves, women who believe in Jesus and in God, women who minister, or women who want to, seek after God's heart and things like that. We ain't gonna be, I'm not like crazy religious kind of person, not like that at all, but just being able to connect with women who understand my walk and who can help me in my walk as well and hold me accountable, as well as introduce me to nice people as well, and so on and so forth. So I was excited because this position offers me that possibility, that opportunity, because I'll be working at 3 different hospitals, as I mentioned. So they're hospitals, so you already working somewhere where you're meeting, I worked at a clinic before I came here, and it was inside of a hospital, and I made friends that way, and I had a lot of good friends. And so imagine being able to work at multiple different locations. I don't know, I just felt like it was something that would open up that that possibility for me to meet new people and just link with people and just be able to enjoy. And then they tell me about places that they know about and teach me a little bit about Houston and good spots, bad spots, things like that, just helping me out. And also I like the fact that I will be able to learn Houston, because I'm not just leaving from where I'm stationed, where I'm living at, to go to where I'm stationed to work and then back home every day, like just the same routine. But it kind of shifts it up where I'll, some days of the week I'll be going here, some days I'll be going there, some days I'll be going over here. You know what I'm saying? And I like that idea of it, because the hospitals are in Houston, but they're on different parts of Houston. So it's broken up where I'm going to have to get out of my comfort zone and go to different places. And that would allow me to be like, oh, I know of this spot I want to try out. I passed it on my way to work when I worked over here. And when I worked over there, they have some nice things in this area as well. You kind of get to learn. That's how you learn. I'm kind of like that person you kind of got to throw out there, like a baby fish. You just got to throw me in the water, and I just got to find my way, because, that's just how I learn. So I was excited because I asked God, when I applied for the neuroscience job, I was like, oh, I just love the idea of what it had to offer. At this time, I didn't know anything about the pay. I'm not even lying to y'all. Most of almost 95% of the jobs I applied for like over 300 jobs. So over 95% of those jobs, they had the amount that they were paying. So of course I was aiming for the 19 and 20 range, just because, back in Indiana, I was making a little less than that, but I was like, whatever. Just keep me in the same range and I'm good. So I remember in neuroscience, they didn't have a price range. It just had the job stuff, and the stuff that kind of just drew me in. So, but they did mention they had good benefits. So I was like, okay, that's cool. Like, good benefits. I'm a mom. My daughter, she's kind of accident prone, so good benefits is good for us. So, I was like, that's cool. That's pretty good. But for some reason, I wanted that job. It's kind of weird, but I did. I never done neuroscience as a medical assistant ever, and in research and stuff like that, I don't know. But I was just interested in it. I don't know why, but it was a desire. Like, when I applied for it, I was like, oh, I kind of want that. And then the next day, 2 days later, I got a call for the first interview, and I was like, oh God, I want this job. But I was getting other interviews as well. So it was like, at this point, I need a job. I didn't really care. So I was like, you know, this is the job I would love to have, but, you know, wherever God tells me to go, I'll go. But I kept it in my prayers, like, God, this is just where I would like to go. Just try it out, get it underneath my belt, and just see if I like it. That can help me to venture out of just the normal routine of, you know, just rooming patients and things like that. You know, boring, but it pays the bills. But yeah, so I was very shocked when I got a second call, which was my second interview, and I got that a day later. And I was like, wow, like I didn't even feel like I did that great on my interview. You know, how you ever wanted something so bad that you feel like when the opportunity comes, you mess it up? That's what I felt like. I felt like I was stumbling a lot. I was like, a lot, you know, and I just didn't feel like I did a good job with the interview, but I did, obviously. And they were like, oh, they loved you and they want you to interview with, you know, some of the ladies at the different locations, and then they'll make a choice, but we are interviewing a few more people as well, but it's only one position. So at that time, I still have faith. You know, I left the faith of God. I just like, God, if that's, you know, if it's possible, I would love to work there. But, you know, he was giving me other opportunities as well. So I didn't really stress about it. Honey, when I tell you, I got that job, that offer letter, and I was in tears because not only was it the job that I asked God for, that's all I did, was just ask him. I was like, God, you sent me here, I'm here, I need a job. This one sounds interesting, you know, can I have it? If not, send me where you want me to go. I just let it be on God's hands. I didn't stress about it. Like I was doing with my other positions I was applying for. I was just stressing about it and let me call, let me check on it. And, you know, doing God's work, God already knows where he wants you to be. And he's not going to steer you wrong if you just relax. And so that's what I did. I just relaxed, and I was like, you know, I'm getting interviews and people are looking at my resume. I have a strong resume. And so I wasn't too stressed about it, but I was stressed about it because at the same time I still wanted a job. But yeah, I was just, I wish I could just tell y'all, like, and that's my belief. Again, this is never to try to persuade you all to believe what I believe, but seriously, for me, because I know I talk to Jesus, I know I talk to God, and I know how much faith I just put into them and how much trust I just put on the table. And for me to get that exact job, and check this out, let me tell you the confirmation. Because God, once it's from God, when something's coming from God, you're going to always have confirmation on it. And that's what happened. Because not only was it the job that I wanted, it also was the hours that I wanted. It also was in the area that I wouldn't mind traveling. And it also paid me a lot more than what I was asking for. So confirmation pouring in like rain falling from the sky, y'all. You have to know when to look at your confirmation and be open to it. Don't try to create your own confirmations. Don't be like, well, you know, I applied for this job and they called me back the next day. That's confirmation. No, because Satan has a way too of playing with your mind and taking you off course on where God is trying to take you. So, you know, it's not, you'll get your confirmation once everything pulls together, once everything aligns. That's when you got confirmation. And so, yes, I'm beyond grateful, because like I said, if it had not been for me just having patience and just doing it, like I'm here, you know, I don't start until the 23rd of August, but let me tell you again about that confirmation, y'all. I still get paid for my job in Indiana because I had so much PTO time. They just keep paying me, you know, every paycheck until it's gone. So I'm still getting paid from them. And then I have money saved up. I'm good on that end. And I have family and friends here helping me. Confirmation. And then at first I was like, oh man, I wish I was starting like in a week or two. But it all makes sense because I applied for an apartment. Of course, once I got my offer letter, and then I accepted it, and the manager and everybody was so excited that I accepted it. I was grateful, and so I kind of leaped into finding my apartment, and I did. I found an apartment, and everything seemed to work out, but I was going for the cheaper end, the first end, which is like what I was basing my income off of. If I made like up to like between $18 and $20 an hour, and so I was basing it on that, and that's what I did. I found that apartment, and then so once I got that higher pay included on my offer letter, that's when I was like, at first I was like, well, I can find somewhere a little bit more upscale, because I truly want a luxury apartment because I deserve it. And not just that, but I work hard, so I just want a luxury apartment. I never had the opportunity to have a luxury apartment, and finally, I'm starting my life all over. I'm dedicating my life to Jesus and to God, and I'm trying to be obedient as I can. So that's all I want more than anything, is to be able to have a luxury apartment, be able to afford it, and just be proud of it. It just be amazing, beautiful, and comfortably afforded, meaning like I'm paying all my bills and I still have money left over. Even after buying groceries and taking care of my daughter, I still have money to save, because I'm a saver. I like to save my money because you never know when you're needed for a rainy day. And I have a child, so I always have to look out for her as well. So I always have, I save my money for those reasons. But yeah, with God, nothing is too far-fetched. So in time, I'll have my luxury apartment, y'all. So, I just have to keep my faith, and I just have to keep on trusting that He knows what He's doing. So back to what I was saying, I was going to go back to that apartment. As a matter of fact, I did. I went back and I was, I gave them all my information. I didn't like the apartment. Like, I did not have any desire. Like, when I was there, I was just like, God kept telling me like that wasn't the place. But I was trying to ignore it because I was like, well, it's affordable, and that'll help me save even more money, because eventually I would have a house. I'm claiming that. So, I was like, well, that helped me save more money, and then I'll be great, That apartment, I didn't even see the apartment. Okay, never mind. That's a lie. I didn't personally get a walk through the apartment, but I'll tell you guys what happened. So I went today, and I finished out the application process, and it's like God just kept saying, you need to listen to me. Like, what is wrong with you? Go walk around. Go talk. Like, because the first time I came, nobody was outside. It was quiet. Like, you might hear a pin drop. So I was like, okay, the apartments are ugly, but at least they're quiet. Today, though, there was a lot of people outside. A lot. Like, it was unreal. Like, God was purposely putting them in my place to talk to them. So I did. So, the first red flag was that the office was busy and they only had one worker. He was very nice, but I could tell he was frustrated when he tried to talk to me, because he was busy and the phones was ringing, and then the office was busy. I get it. I've been in those situations before too, so I understood him. I wasn't mad at him for it at all, even though he did apologize, but I was fine with this. It's whatever. So the second red flag was I went looking for my apartment, because he gave me the address to the apartment. I could not find it, y'all. I couldn't find it. And there was a lot of apartments in this one apartment complex. So I walked around for about 45 minutes. Literally, me and my daughter walked around on foot, because I like to get a feel. Jesus, like, walk with me. And that's why I told him, I said, please protect me, because I didn't know what I was doing. I'm out here walking around. I don't know nobody in these apartments. It wasn't in the hood or anything like that, but it's just still, you just never know. People could be crazy. And I'm out here with my purse, and I'm real prissy, so I'm walking on my little purse on my arm, and just an easy target. I'm not gonna lie, but I'm walking around on foot with these sandals on, and as I was walking, a lady was coming down the street, and there was a security guard, like not security, like a maintenance guy. He was driving around on his little cart, and so I was like, excuse me, trying to get his attention. He finally looked at me, and I asked him where was the apartment. I told him the number. He just points and says, it's back that way, so it's always the back. Just go to the last building, and you'll find it there. Oh, okay, And then the lady pulled up in the car, and she was like, excuse me, sir, did you work this morning? And he was like, no. And she was like, well, do you know who worked this morning? No. Why do you need to know who worked this morning anyway? So then she said, because my house door got kicked in. And so the guy was like, oh no, I don't know who worked this morning. She said, so you mean to tell me you're working right now, and you don't know who you relieved when you came to work? You don't know who works on the premises? He was like, no, you just need to go to the office. And he drove off. Like, he drove on his little cart right in her face, and me and the lady sitting there like, did this just happen? Like, how rude. But it's not funny, because poor lady. But so she was just like, so that's how he gonna just treat me like that? And my house door just got kicked in. Like, what am I gonna do? And I'm just gonna call the police. I'm gonna report this whole apartment complex. Like, I'm getting out of here. So I'm like, okay, all right, my daughter freaking out because she's real prissy like me, and she don't like the drama. We didn't come from that kind of, we don't do drama. And so she was just like, I don't want to live here, I don't feel safe. And I was like, okay. Kept walking. So we found the laundry center. It was a little shack, literally a little shack. It was really beat up, really old, and it had a bunch of bugs in it, and it was extremely hot. Like, the laundry center, we're in Houston. Don't forget about that. We're in Houston. It's hot as heck. It doesn't have a door on it, and it doesn't have windows. Like, it just has cutout. It's like, that's it. That was the laundry center. Anyway, so then we walked around. We finally found it. Like, y'all, it was so dark because it was in the back, like the very back of the apartments, and there's a fence there's a fence, and then behind the fence is like a whole bunch of trees and like this lake, not a lake, like a stream. It was a stream. And so our apartment was facing that fence, which means there was apartments on the other side of that too, so I wouldn't have been able to see my vehicle. I don't like that. And it was dark. The sun was out bright, but as soon as we turned that corner and walked behind that building, it was dark because of all the trees. They had so much trees back there. So it was eerie. Like, I felt really, I don't know, like I felt like something was watching me or something. So I'm walking up me and my daughter's walking up the stairs to the 3rd floor. We were put on the 3rd floor. I didn't want to touch anything. I felt disgusting. The stairwell was like really rusted and old, and like it was trash on the stairs, and like a lot of the tree brush fell onto the stairs. So I'm walking up, these concrete nasty stairs, and I finally get to the top. Immediately when you get to the top, there's a door, somebody's door. Their window is boarded up, and it's like an L shape. So on that wall, which would have been the end of the line, because my apartment, no, not my apartment, let's not claim that. That apartment that they tried to give me was in the middle. So it was 2 on this side, like 1 here and then 1 here. And then on the other side, the same thing, 1 here and then 1 at the end. So the one at the end where the stairs was, both of those, like the one straight ahead, their window was boarded up. And then when you walk all the way up the stairs and you look to the right, their window was boarded up. Like, huh? It was weird. And people lived there because the lights was on. And then one of the couple who lived in the apartment next door to the one that I was going to get, they came out and they have a small kid. And I was just looking like, oh my gosh, like, how do you guys do it? Anyway, so I ring the doorbell. The apartment of the one that they were trying to give me, that apartment, I was like, you know what, God? I mean, just give me your protection, and that, you know, the least that can happen, the most that can happen is these people can try to harm me, but I trusted God that I was going to be okay, and I was. Obviously, I'm here talking to you guys. But and then the least is said she or he, because I didn't know it was a she at the time, would answer the door. So on that door, they had a camera doorbell, and I thought it was strange. And it was like God was like, pay attention to detail. I was like, why would she have that? Like, no other apartments had it, which I thought was a good idea. I was already thinking, like, once I get my apartment, since I'm new to this city, I wanted to make sure that I protect my home too. So that was pretty smart, but I couldn't shake it. Like, why did she have that? I don't know why it was running my mind so much, but it was. So so she answers me through the little doorbell, whatever. And I just told her the truth. I said, I'm new here from Indiana, and I'm looking for an apartment. This is the apartment that they're trying to give me. And I said, if you don't mind, if I can just take a few minutes of your time, I just would like to talk to you about your experience here. And if you recommend it, I actually go through with taking this apartment. God is so good. That lady, at first she was like, well, can we just talk through the doorbell? I said, yeah, that's fine. Then she was like, you know what? I'll come out. So she came out, small little lady, very sweet. And she just started breaking it down for me, y'all. She started telling me about how that apartment that she has is roach infected. And other people had already mentioned that too, about the roach infestation over there. And she was talking about the maintenance but they do a poor job at keeping the facility clean. She was saying, like, her rent is never the same. Like, even though, like, she knows what she's supposed to be paying, like, when she goes online to pay her rent, it's different every month. Sometimes she gets hit with fees, and she's like, I don't even know where the fees come from. She was like, she was afraid to live in her apartment. She said she literally took vacation like once a month or more because she didn't want to be home. She was like, she hated it so much because of the roaches, how dark it gets when the sun goes down. She said she works overnight, and she said sometimes she would be so afraid she would just miss work because she didn't want to leave out of her house because one is dark, and you can't see, like, it's so many trees, like somebody could be hiding back there, you wouldn't be able to see it, and there's no cameras, and the light, she said, is not really bright, so she's just kind of at risk. And then she said and the other issue is the possums and the raccoons, and she showed me like a lot of her recordings off of her doorbell. She showed me the raccoons, and they were like this big, no lie, they were huge, and there were multiple of them. And she was like, that happens a lot, especially when the sun goes down, or when she puts trash outside her door, because you're supposed to have valet trash, but she was like, they never come as scheduled. Sometimes it'd be a week or two later before they come and pick up the trash. And then she was just telling me, like, she didn't feel safe, and she was like, it's a shame how, she said, out of the year that I've lived here, I've only got to use my bathroom and enjoy using my bathroom as far as showering. Of course, she had to use the bathroom, but like to shower and bathe and stuff like that. She said she couldn't do it because the roaches, she said, like, they were really big, and she was like, there would be so many, like, it's just disgusting. So she she would use her kitchen to take a bath, like to wash up and stuff like that, and that's why she liked to get away and like do hotels or take vacations so she didn't have to be at home. And she was like, it was just nasty. And she's like, I hope you don't think I'm a dirty person, which I had already been told by another one of the residents there on the premises that those apartments were roach infested. So I didn't think that of her at all. She didn't look like she was that type of woman anyway. So yeah, it was crazy. And so I was like, thank you so much. Like, and she showed me like all the cobwebs in her home because it's got spiders too. And she was like, maintenance was supposed to come out and fix that for her because she had bolted ceilings because she was on the 3rd floor, which is the highest floor. So she said they promised her they was going to come out and, you know, clean the ceilings and everything and clean up her property, but they never did. And so the cobwebs was just thick and crazy on her ceiling. She was like, I love the space though. And at that point, that's when I got to like look in, but she was trying to welcome me into her home. But y'all, please don't ever do that. Don't go into nobody's house. She was a sweet lady, but that lady could have lied on me and said I tried to beat on her or steal from her, or she could have did something to hurt me. So I just stood at the door, looked in. Thanks for letting me see you. That's all I need to see. You know, and at this point anyway, I was like, absolutely not moving there, refuse. So it was very spacious, but after being told what I was told and talking to different people around the premises and seeing things happening right in my face, no way. So when my daughter walked away from the apartment, away from that building, and around the side of the building was all kinds of trash. And then I just went to the office and I was like, I know that I just submitted all my application paperwork and I paid for it already, but can we please cancel? You know, I absolutely do not want to live here. So the guy who had took my paperwork, the only guy who was working in the office today, he was so sweet. He was just like, are you okay? And I was like, no. I said, it's disgusting here. So I don't want it. He was like, oh, thank God. Like, that was his words, y'all. No lie. He said, oh, thank God that God gave you the blessings of checking it out before you moved in. He said, because I just had to give keys to a lady today. He said, right when you left the office, she came in and picked up her keys, and he's like, I felt awful because I know her apartment was roach infected. But he's like, what they do is they spray the apartment, you know, to basically make it look like there's no problem. He said, but within the next 2 to 3 weeks, those roaches, she's going to see a lot of roaches because it's very infested. He said, we should not have even gave that apartment away. But he was like, but because, you know, their corporate office said to do it, he was like, what could I say at that point? Disgusting. So, but he was gripping my hand. He was like, I'm just so grateful that you were wise enough and you had the instinct to go check out the community before you moved in. He was like, because it's horrible over here. And he was like, I wanted to tell you, but I couldn't because I'll lose my job. He was like, so please don't tell anybody that I'm telling you this. So I'm not going to disclose his name. I'm not disclosing the apartments. But he was like, it's bad over here. It's terrible over here. He told me at that point, he was like, well, besides it being roach infected, you know, another person complained about the roach infestation. He said, our crime rate over here is horrible. He said, I don't know what people have told you over here. He said, but we actually have people being robbed at gunpoint. He said just last week, a lady was robbed, a nurse was robbed at gunpoint. And, you know, she was robbed in her own home, like going to her home. And then he told me that people's cars have been stolen, and it's been happening a lot now that it's the summertime. Which it doesn't matter. It's hot all the time here from what I've been told. But whatever. Something special about the summertime. Crazy. Probably frying people's brains. But, oh, Lord. But, yeah. So, he was telling me, he was like, yeah, people literally get robbed at gunpoint. And he's like, we don't know what to do to stop the crime. It's just bad. It's horrible. He's like, our maintenance sucks. He said the space that you get for what you're paying for is phenomenal, but it's not worth it. He is like, it's not safe to live here. I wouldn't want to live here. I'm glad that you figured it out, but you don't want to live here either. He had told me about, what else did he tell me? Just like petty deaths and stuff like that happening over there. And he just kept on telling me, like, thank God. Thank God for you finding this out. It was just confirmation, like, and so I had to thank God too. Like, thank you, Jesus. Like, thank you, God. Like, seriously, because that was God, like, confirmation. Everything was confirmed that is not where God has better for me. He has better for me, and I wasn't about to try to force myself into this little box to be miserable with roaches. I don't do pests. I don't do no bugs. I don't like bugs. No, absolutely not. And crime and all that stuff, my baby gotta be home by herself sometimes until I get home from work. Y'all lost y'all mind. No, absolutely not. Capital 2 letters, absolutely not. So yeah, so basically that's my journey right now for my apartment. I mean, I do have my my job. I'm sorry, I do have my job. Well, like I told you guys, I don't start until August 23rd. But the good thing about that is that gives me, I didn't know why it was such a big window, but they were just telling me that's the first start date that they have for me going through training and doing things for their company. So at first I was a little discouraged about it. I'm like, wow, that's a big jump. Like, you ready to work now? You know, I've been out of work since July 2nd. That was my last day, my last official day in the office with my last job. And so I just been sitting around. Well, that's a lie. Not sitting around like that. I've been hustling, but in a sense, like, sitting around as far as not, I'm just used to working. So, but God worked it out. He worked it out for me, because now I have time to look for somewhere better, to find that place that Jesus has for me, because he has so much better, and so much more in store for me in a positive way than just settling for a roach infected, nasty, gross apartment. And that's why he gave me more money too, because that's what I would have been able to afford if I would have got the first pay that I was like, God, please just let me get that $20, please, God. That's what I would have been able to afford. But he not only blessed me with a job that he knew that I wanted, but he showed up and showed out and gave me so much more because I was obedient. So I'm telling you, y'all gonna be okay if y'all going through the same thing as me. Honey, I'm telling you, when you're obedient, God aligns everything for you. When you trust, God aligns everything for you. And it just flows. It flows. And I do believe, my grandma had to talk about this. I do believe that I was given the first job, which is why I moved here in the first place. God just allowed it to happen. It was a hoax, basically. But he knew that if I didn't have a reason, if I didn't have security of some sort, I wasn't going to come. And so once I got here and things didn't work out, that's when he tested my faith. Do you trust me? And that's when I had to, like, God, yes, I trust you. I give it over to you, Jesus. And it was hard. Like I said, I had a lot of nights of crying. I had a lot of sad and a lot of days where I just was, worried I was making the wrong decision, because I uprooted my life. But look at Jesus just showing out. Look at God. Look at the prints that God is laying out for me. And like I'm telling y'all, it's only up from here. And if you're in the same boat, just keep that in mind, that sometimes things don't work out the way you want them to, because God's got better for you. And once he does show you whatever it is that he has for you, don't be afraid to share it. Don't be afraid to tell your part where you may have had to make a decision that may not make sense, or you may have made a mistake. Don't be afraid to share that, because somebody out there is listening to you. Somebody out there needs to hear your testimony, and somebody out there needs that bit of hope. They need, they need to have something to say, well, this person did it and they believe in God like I believe in God, so I'm gonna be okay. They need to be encouraged by you. And so that's why I'm on here doing this, y'all. Like the video I did on Tuesday, it was hard for me to get through that video. I wanted to cry, but I didn't. But it was really hard for me, because I was just kind of like, in that moment I was thinking like, oh my gosh, like I feel like a failure internally, but I knew I had to keep my faith and believe. And so because of that, I did the video, and I was being obedient, because I just kept getting the urge to do the video. I didn't know why, but I did it, and I'm sure it blessed somebody. And now look, I could have did my video the same night, but I decided to wait and just rejoice in God for what he's given me so far, and appreciate where he has brought me so far. And then, I can go off and tell everybody. And so that's what I'm doing now. I'm just letting you guys know, like, things are going up, and it's only up from here. And I'm telling you, it's not because I'm just somebody special, because I'm not. I'm just like the rest of you. I don't deserve as many blessings as I've gotten so far. I really feel like I don't, because I know I made mistakes, and I know the mistakes of my life. And, I know the decisions that I've made haven't always been the best. But I'm the living testimony that Jesus sees past that. If he can find somebody to be faithful to him, somebody to believe in him, somebody to have faith in him, he would use that person. No matter what your background looks like, no matter how imperfect you are, he will use you, and he will bless you in front of everybody. Not in a way to boast, not in a way to show you off, because I don't feel boastful at all about it. But it's a way to show people that it's okay to believe in me and to trust in me, because when you do that, things change. And when things change, you grow. And when you grow, that's when you get to see and just love and appreciate your higher being. You start to give your grace and your thanks and your, just everything, just all of you, to God, or to whoever you believe is your higher power. So that's where I'm at right now. I'll keep you guys updated on my apartment search and everything. But right now, I'm just, just thanking Jesus that he was like, come on, it's time to go. We need to go look at these apartments. We need to talk to people. And that he blessed all those people to be outside today, because I got so much information. It's just, like I said, like, trust me, you won't be disappointed if you just try. And whatever you're feeling called to do, don't ignore it. Pray about it, believe in it, and just go and keep your faith and keep your belief in God. Keep your focus on God. And no matter how hard it gets, just keep on knowing the promises that God has for you. Know that if he's called you to do something, he's not going to leave you alone. He's not going to leave you in the dark, and you're going to get through it, and everything's going to be okay. So y'all let me know what you think in the comments below. Again, positive words of encouragement is always appreciated, and I do appreciate you guys for listening to my long video today. But I just wanted to let you guys know what was going on. And if you are in the same boat as me, try it out. If you've already tried it out, you already stepped out there on faith, let me know how things are going for you. I pray that everything is going well and phenomenal. And even if it's not right now, just know, don't give up, because your time is coming. It's just not your time right now, but when you have a promise from God, nobody can break that or steal that away from you. So, we will talk next time. If you have any suggestions or any questions for me, just put in the comments below. Bye.